Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Red River Gorge is seeing an influx of visitors, some traveling thousands of miles to get away from it all. And as states debate whether or not to reopen schools this fall, one eastern Kentucky county is offering parents a choice. Plus, it was a routine fire response in Floyd County, but what volunteers found them left them with chills.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:31 on this Friday, July the 10th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, most days we've been able to make it out without a rain shower until the late evening hours. Last night was exactly that. Let's bring Brandon in this morning to give us a breakdown of what to expect on this Friday. And he says that it's going to be a little bit cooler. Brandon, are we going to be able to notice that coolness?
This weekend we will. Today we will not, because it's still going to be hot and humid ahead of this cold front. But that cold front's going to take some of the punch out of the heat as we head into the weekend. It's still going to be warm air temperature-wise, but I think it'll be a little less humid, so that makes all the difference, doesn't it? Looking at visibility this morning, still a little bit of issues in some areas, especially down into the Cumberland Valley there, Harlan and Williamsburg, less than 1 mile visibility. Everybody else doing okay this morning. We've seen some of that on the cameras. We'll show you our interstate tour here in a little bit at 5:30 main weather. But again, we're looking at very mild and muggy temperatures this morning. 74 in Prestonsburg, the warm spot, pair of 67s in Harlan and in Middlesboro, some of the cooler spots across the region this morning. Take a look at our temperatures from basically, well, I'm not sure what the graphic is there. I don't know. I must have clicked the wrong one, put it in the show, but that's all right. 12-hour planner. I was trying to get the 24-hour temperature difference, and that's basically just a couple of degrees back and forth like it was yesterday. 12-hour planner, 89. Again, today it'll feel like the low 90s, but that cold front comes through. It's going to bring those rain chances after lunchtime, and that will cool us off as we head into the weekend. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
It's Friday, Brandon. Thank goodness for that, right? Thank you, dude. Well, Kentucky's DUI laws are different as of last week. Starting on July 1st, license suspensions became longer depending on an individual's record. The new laws also incentivize installing an ignition lock device. Shelby Lofton breaks down the new laws.
DUI cases are down in Kentucky, but now, for a first-time drunk driving offense, suspension rates are up.
Under the old law, it was 30 days to 120 days. And now the minimum suspension period for a DUI first is 4 months.
Unless the individual gets an ignition lock device.
There's no cheating it. Big Brother is actually watching.
This Lexington auto body shop installs a brand of the device called Intoxalock. Before you put the key into the ignition, you press a button, breathe into the tube, and then pass or fail, which determines if you stop or go. A fail won't let your car start.
Sad to say, it's a big business, but it allows people to get back on the road and get on with their lives while being monitored, and it's good accountability.
Buck says this device is foolproof.
They can see when your car is running, when your car is off, what you blow, when you blow into the device, whether it's a good sample or a bad sample, and yeah, the camera monitors who's blowing in the device.
But Mashney is concerned it will be cost prohibitive. There's a fee for installing, removing, and maintaining it, even one for giving a bad sample.
If you have a violation within your interlock time period, then you're subject to the enhanced penalties, and it's going to make your suspension longer.
Buck says Intoxalock keeps his business busy, but he also thinks it can keep people going down the right path. He says a former customer returned to his store to voluntarily get the device reinstalled.
He said it just keeps me in check and keeps me from doing anything stupid.
Mashney says he thinks if people invest in this device and rideshare companies, the Commonwealth can be an even better place on the roads. In Lexington, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
Now, also included in the new law, once someone is charged with a DUI, they can immediately start taking the alcohol driver education classes rather than waiting on a conviction. Well, as states continue to open up, the Red River Gorge is seeing a record number of visitors from different states visit the Commonwealth. And as crowds increase, Wolfe County search and rescue teams have been busy, from people becoming dehydrated to just getting lost. They also say just because it is nice outside does not mean COVID has gone away. One visitor says for her, she just wanted to escape the city life.
We weren't going to go anywhere because of COVID, but we'd had this plan, so we decided to get away because the cases are like horrible there, and it's just kind of nice to be somewhere where they have a little bit more sense than Florida.
Search and rescue crews say to remember to stay hydrated while outside, and it is always a good idea to have a map available. Well, Pike County is offering parents a choice when it comes to their child's education. They are offering 2 options for their students this fall. The first being a fully online version, and the second being 5 days a week in-person classes. Students who chose to participate in school online will be allowed to play for sports teams and other extracurricular activities. Bus transportation will continue to be provided, but there will be some changes to how students ride.
The kids can sit 2 in a seat if they're masked, and in between each run, the bus drivers will sanitize and clean thoroughly.
Grades 1st through 12 will be required to wear a face mask during the school day. Well, Panda Garden Chinese restaurant in Harlan reopens after being closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. WYMT's Dakota Makeris checked it out and shows us how the restaurant is adapting to some changes.
It has been 4 months since the grill sizzled at Panda Garden. For restaurant owner Joyce Chang, it is a moment she was waiting for.
I'm excited. I've been laying home every day watching Netflix. I never be happy going back to work. It's just like my life. I gotta do something.
And what is that something? Making sure herself and her employees took a COVID-19 test before returning to keep everyone safe.
I make sure they wear masks. I make sure they have a sanitizer, alcohol, and I make sure they don't touch any cash because we're doing prepaid. I know we have some people pay cash. I make sure they put it in the bag.
Many buffet trays are pre-ordered and paid online, then picked up curbside to limit contact.
We've been prepared, and we found a perfect way to reopen, but it will not put any worker on the contact people.
Panda Garden customer Perry Still enjoyed the contactless pickup. He was one of the 250 prepaid meals Thursday.
I'm ready. I hope it opens up for good. I missed the buffet.
Before the pandemic, Still would visit 2 to 3 times per week. Now he anxiously waits for his favorite menu items.
I can't wait on that chicken and broccoli. Sweet and sour chicken. I love it all.
A 4-month wait finally paying off for the restaurant and customers. In Harlan County, Dakota Makeris, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Panda Garden is open Monday through Saturday, noon to 6 p.m. We have a link on how to order online on our website at WYMT.com. Wednesday afternoon, the Garrett Volunteer Fire Department in Floyd County responded to a call about a house fire in Boland Branch. When they arrived, the house was engulfed in flames, but what they found gave them chills. A Bible on a shelf in the part of the house where the fire had left the most damage. Everything else on the shelf was not even recognizable. The Bible fell from said shelf onto the front yard, open to the picture of the Lord's Supper.
To see something like that is a great sign of what is promised. You know, it just kind of, it gives you hope and keeps you going.
No one was home during the fire. They have not been able to contact the family who lives there, but they hope to be able to return the Bible to them. Well, the city of Prestonsburg is making progress with a years-long tourism effort, and with the increase in indoor activity during the pandemic, the project is a new destination for the people of the Star City. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more.
Prestonsburg is focused on tourism.
This is an opportunity for people to see us in a whole different fashion.
The city's Rails to Trails project is well underway, repurposing a section of railway into a trail system. Asphalt is being poured this week as crews anticipate an end-of-summer completion date.
You know, people tell me all the time, tourism will never replace coal. Unless we find a vein of uranium running through the middle of Floyd County, we're never going to replace coal. But what we have to do is find alternate economies and build on that.
Instead of replacing it, Mayor Les Stapleton says the trail will highlight the history of coal.
There's things to see. There's a vein of coal in a rock face that we're going to identify so people understand what it means to go mine coal.
And will incorporate 6 train bridges in the more than 8-mile stretch, one of those built in 1904.
It's phenomenal. This is history. This bridge is culture. It's part of the railroad and the coal culture.
Aside from tourist opportunity, Stapleton says the trails will also serve an emergency response purpose.
The railroad's never flooded that anybody can remember and tell me about. So we're going to have it set up for some of the areas up through here that get flooded in and can't get out. They can use this as an emergency corridor.
Stapleton says people have already been talking about the trails.
It's already a statewide success before we get the asphalt down.
And he believes the city is on the right track for good things. In Prestonsburg, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Mayor Stapleton says at least part of the trail should be open by the end of August. Well, even without fans, the Grand Ole Opry is still putting the music in Music City. That's coming up in our Eye and Entertainment Report.
It's been a hot week, and it'll be a hot one more day, but this weekend, a little bit of relief. I'll talk about it in about 3 minutes.